Look who floated up in here.
Hi.
Janelle Monae. The first question, listen, I told you already, I got a whole lot of questions, whole lot. And this is going to sound like a funny first question, but knowing that you're from Kansas City.
Yeah,
are you a football fan?
You know what? I have to be honest with you. I'm not a football fan, but I'm a Kansas City Chiefs
So you were excited.
fan. Oh, what?
Come on.
That's like I grew up going to the games. And just when you say the Kansas City Chiefs, like people were counting out the Chiefs for a minute. I mean, we have obviously one of the best players on the team. What's his name? I would love for you to say it.
This dude named Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes. My mother is obsessed. My family is obsessed. Like, it was just a beautiful thing to see Kansas City on the map.
And yeah. I'll tell you, man, I wish I knew now. I wish I knew back then what I know now about him, because I got to see him play in college.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not going to date myself, but my son went to Texas Tech.
What?
And Patrick Mahomes went to Texas Tech, obviously, and I went to a game. I went to hang out with his son. You know, he's going to college, and we went to he's like, Pops, when you come, we're going to a football game. And it was like Texas Tech against, I can't even remember the team, but I remember thinking, like, this Patrick Mahomes his dad was a pitcher, because I looked it up, and his dad was a big pitcher in the major MLB.
See, I don't know all that, because I think I do have a lot of criticism about the NFL and just how it treats its players and stuff like that. So I'll be completely honest, but I do know that he's a really good player. Seems to be like a good person. My family's obsessed, and it just felt good, you know, that everybody was pretty much betting against Kansas City. And, you know, when you come from a small town like that, and the whole world is watching, and then you win, you know, there's some pride there.
You're like, I'm
for
from
sure.
there. I'm
exactly.
from there. I'm not a fan of the NFL, but I'm from
there. But I'm a fan of the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But yeah, back then when I watched him play in college, I would have never in a million years, I would never thought, you know, that dude's come a long way.
Yeah.
And so have you, all the way from Kansas City.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you, and I bet you, I'm sure you get this question a lot, but I got to ask you, growing up in Kansas, give us a little bit, an example of you know, you've been around the world now, because you've been in this business for over 10 years. And how do you compare Kansas to other places you've been? Whether it's LA, Atlanta. I know you've done a lot of work with artists from Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Atlanta.
Yeah,
actually.
I'm hearing this accent. Yeah. It sounds so familiar. Like, I grew up in Kansas City, Kansas, born and raised, super small town, Wyandotte County to be exact. You know, I grew up, I'm like I have 49 first cousins.
I thought you were about to say siblings. I was about to say,
no.
God bless your mom.
But my mom had nine sisters and 2 brothers. So I grew up in a really big family, like already a built-in community football team.
Right, y'all had a town.
Yeah, we had a whole town. And so it was always a lot of love, a lot of laughter, a lot of just, you know, when you have cousins like that, it's a lot of personalities, a lot of shit happens. And then moved to New York, went to performing arts school where I studied acting, singing. I was always doing, like, there's never, I can't remember a time where I wasn't singing and acting and just performing my whole life. And then left New York and then moved to Atlanta, Georgia.
When you were growing up, did you date a lot? Were you a loner when it came? Because I know you're a cutie. So when you were coming up, like, how was your life with the guys back growing up in your hometown? Was there that one dude you always look back at and like, wonder what he's doing?
I was very monogamous. I had one boyfriend that I dated from middle school. Then we broke up maybe freshman year. Then we dated high school. And then, you know, we just kind of went our separate ways after college. But we're still good friends now. But I was pretty like, I found my one person. We found each other. And that was my life back then, you know.
For how long?
Ooh. I mean, kid, you know, middle school, sneaking out the house, going to each other's houses. Like, I did all that stuff. I was precocious as a child. But I will say music and performing changed my life, because it was like when I wanted to compete in a talent showcase, or, you know, I loved English. I was in English AP. I was always in like the after school programs for the arts. And so that kind of kept me on track. Like I knew, I was like, okay, right now is not the time to to get unfocused. Like I'm really serious about my career. I was one of those people.
You were that girl that would break up with the guy when you went to college. You're like, I'm going to college, man. I got to concentrate. I'm sorry.
No,
it's
but
over.
if we loved each other and I knew, like, you know, we were growing. Sometimes people just grow and evolve, and
now
you know, you don't want to be cheating on each other.
Yeah,
like I'm not one of those people. I'm super, like, I'm non-binary. I'm queer. I'm very open, and I'm realistic about just the evolution of people and what happens. And, you know, if it were to come back around and our new selves could enjoy each other, then so be it. But it didn't happen like that.
Do you have a partner now?
I am my own partner.
Okay.
How about that?
All right, I got you.
Yeah. I mean, have you listened to Float?
I have. I told you when you floated up in here, that wasn't on accident.
Yeah.
I said that. That's an amazing song.
I mean, that song is pretty close to who I am right now. I kind of leave my truth in my music.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. When you say non-bi, and you use some, I could tell you were an English major.
Stop.
Man.
I did not invent that word.
No, but you're talking to somebody who, I don't, see, I'm sending a bad message to all the kids. I didn't finish high school.
Okay.
And when I was in high school, well, I mean, I did okay. I got just as good enough grades to play sports.
Right. What did you play? Were you a football player?
I played all sports, and then in 10th grade, no more football, no more basketball, and it was all baseball.
Okay.
And I ended up going to Braves baseball camp, and I thought I was going to, you know, that was going to be my thing, and music kind of took over. But we moved out here to L.A.
Okay.
And then my family moved to Dallas, and then I ended up back.
But I hear some Dallas in you, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, so I grew up in Atlanta, but this ain't about me. But I'll tell you, Atlanta, L.A., Dallas, and then I came back here 20 years ago because I had this amazing opportunity in Los Angeles on Power 106, and they won't let me leave.
Yeah,
so I'm
you've
still
been
here.
killing it consistently.
Thank you.
Like, I'm a fan.
That.
Yeah.
Now you've been killing it. How did this? We got to. Speaking of the song "Float," so NBA All-Star game. How huge was that?
Oh my God, I had the time of my life
playing
in the All-Star game.
I saw it.
Like, I had so much damn fun. Like, the funny thing is,
and I got to stop you real quick.
Go ahead.
You got to understand how excited I was for you, because we were supposed to do this interview before NBA All-Star Weekend.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
And then, you know, you get busy, things happen. We didn't do the interview, and so when I saw you, you know, I'm a huge basketball fan, and I'm watching this, and I'm like, that she could make it to the NBA All-Star game,
but she can't come see me.
Man, no, but obviously I'm joking. I was like, wow, that's cool, and you know, for them to play the song,
yeah,
that was big. How did that feel?
It's amazing. I mean, it's the anthem for, you know, the remainder of this NBA season, which means a lot, because when I wrote the song, I literally said, I want LeBron, I want Giannis, I want like basketball players, athletes to be listening to this before they go and play. Like when they're working out, when they're like literally trying to get in the mind of what it takes to be great, I want them to associate it with this song. Like me and the producers of the songs, we were like, ooh, from athletes to just people that like want to be their best selves, this is the song for you.
And to say "Float" makes sense, because it's the way I took it when I hear this song is, you know, I'm not letting anything really affect me, and I'm not really you can't, you know, I'm numb to any of the bullshit. Like, you can say whatever you want, it's bouncing off. I'm just floating through this motherfucker. That's how I took it.
Yeah, I love that. You know, since it's just come out, I've lived with the song for a while now, and so it's really good to hear people's responses and that they're owning it. Like, it's their song. It's not. It came from an honest place with me, and I told myself I'm not going to talk over the art, talk over the music. I don't need to over-explain things. But you're right. I think that, you know, we're always going to be in. There are going to be trials. There are going to be tribulations. There are going to be things that life just throws you. But how we respond to that will determine the quality of the life we have.
And artists, athletes can, you know, they float when they play.
Yes,
whatever
right?
sport it is. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah,
I think about Jordan.
To the sport thing.
I think about Muhammad Ali.
Man.
You know, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Ooh,
I think about a lot of like great people when I think about the word float. Yeah.
So how did you float into that situation with fun? Because I got to be honest with you.
That's funny.
I did not know, and I'm a huge fan of that song.
Yeah.
We Are Young.
We Are Young.
For everybody who doesn't know, Janelle sang on
Carry Me Home Tonight. Carry me
what a
home
great song.
tonight.
We Are Young.
Yeah, tonight.
Don't get me started. I did not know you sang on that song. When I was doing, my due diligence and my research about you, I was like, holy shit, what?
It was a small little, bridge that I was on. But yes, I was a part of Fun Song.
Yes.
And
how did that happen?
They were fans, and Jack, who was in Fun and who has been doing some amazing stuff. He's a producer on a lot of artists' work, and all of them were big fans. And they asked me, we were on the same label, Atlantic, and Julie Greenwald, shout out to her. She was like, I have this new group. They're about to put out this song. It's going to be really big. And I was like, okay, send it to me. And when I heard it, I was like, oh yeah. It's going to be big. And it was a small, it didn't take too long to record it. And I did the video with them. And it was just like a little cute little feature that is still around. Like people still play that song.
That song is
people
huge.
love that song.
So there was never any doubt. You never had any do I really want to do this? Let me go talk to the homies. Is this something I should be doing? There was none of that.
For me as somebody who I grew up on all different kinds of music.
And I was about to ask your influences.
Yeah, my mom and my dad were young parents, so I listened to Jodeci. I listened to Mary J. Blige. I listened to, I went to the Bad Boy concert when it was in Kansas City. I was in musical theater. I listened to jazz. I listened to classical music. I am a lover of music and arts, and so I've never allowed myself to say, oh, I can't do that, or I can't, and if you listen to my projects, David Bowie was a big inspiration for me in terms of world building and all of that. So it can go from I lived in Atlanta, so I love trap shit as well. So when you feel something, you just feel it.
When you're rapping on Float, I caught a little bit of a little bit of that side.
Yeah, everybody has a different side to them.
Coming up, listening to, it sounds like you had a vast array, a plethora, if you will, of artists that you grew up on.
Yeah.
In the urban, and I wanted to ask, how my mom was 18 when she had me.
Ooh, yeah. So you had a young mom.
I had a young
mom. My mom was young too, and she, is somebody now, just thinking about, she was that mom that was working check to check. I even remember getting kicked out of this program because we shared cars when I was in high school. And I had to go.
You shared cars
I shared a car with my mom.
I see.
In high school. So I had to go I took her to school, took her to work in the morning, then I went to school. Then after school, I would go pick her up, and then I would go to my after school program where I was a young playwright. We had a system, but sometimes she would not be finished with work, which made me late to the after school program. And I remember being so mad at her because they kicked me out of the program, and I was crushed.
And then you look back on it, you're like, I really couldn't have been mad. She was trying to, y'all were trying to make it. Y'all were trying,
living check to check, trying to do the best that she could to raise me. But where is your mom still with us?
Yes.
She is? Where's she at now?
She's still in Atlanta.
Okay, my mom's in Atlanta too.
Okay. Yeah, my mom lives on the south side.
My God.
I grew up in the College Park, Jonesboro area.
Yeah.
And my mom still lives out there. And
I still have my place there too.
Okay.
I'm not there as much. But so do you remember the Purple Ribbon days? The Outcast?
Yeah.
Big Boy when you have Purple
Of course.
Ribbon.
That's my peeps, man.
Yes.
I mean, I could take you way, way back.
I know.
I know you didn't grow up in Atlanta, but they're for all the AT aliens out there.
Right.
Wet Willie's was a big water park.
My God.
In Forest Park. She's over here. Are you shaking your head to that?
Yes,
I thought
we got somebody that went to Clark Atlanta.
Okay. Wet Willie's was back. I'm not going to tell you the years that water park was around, but and I came from the old school Atlanta.
Wow.
days. And, you know, so when I go back to
You look so young.
Yeah, thank
Like
you.
when you were talking about you had a son in college before, like
A daughter
that's
and a son.
crazy.
Both, but they went to Texas Tech and San Diego State.
Wow.
Well, my son went to Texas Tech, San Diego State. My daughter did her. You know, girls know what they want from day one. My son just aimlessly was like, my friends are going to Texas Tech, so that's why I'm going there.
Yeah.
My daughter, she knew like I want to be in film in San Diego State.
Oh, cool.
She did her research,
like directing.
You know, doing films.
Okay.
Like she's wanted and still is striving to get there.
Got it.
And she
That's
got this
awesome.
amazing. Yeah, she graduated from San Diego State, and got an amazing job here in
Wow.
LA. And then 2 weeks later, this craziness hit with COVID. So she's been striving to get back on track with these things. But she's amazing, and my son's got his own clothing line, and my kids are amazing.
Oh yeah, you should be so proud. That's super cool.
I am. They're great. They're my kids, I do not know. But again, this is about you, and I have so many questions, and I know that we don't have a lot of time. You've done a lot of movies, and recently, and I remember I saw Knives Out.
Yeah.
Recently, you did something with Glass Onion.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
You know, I saw the first Knives Out, and I was a big fan of it. And Ryan Johnson, I wanted to work with him for a while. He did this film about time travel called Looper.
I think I saw that.
Guys saw. I love. It was like, you know, what if your future self has your past self has a bounty hunt on your future self, so you had to go kill the future version of yourself. Imagine that. Like, and I love science fiction.
And you know all your
Oh my
self's
God.
moves. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's like mirroring your moves. Yeah,
exactly. He did that film, and I was like, oh, if he ever reaches out to me to do anything, I don't care what it is. Like, I'm working with him.
You're doing
so he reached out about Glass Onion. I read the script. I found out who the cast was going to be. I was like, oh, this is about to be big. I mean, Daniel Craig, Edward Norton, Katherine Hahn, Kate Hudson, Dave Bautista, like the list goes on in terms of the star power. And we were going to be shooting in Greece. I'm sitting up here on my couch during COVID. I'm like, oh, get me the hell up out of here immediately. And so, yeah, it was a dream role. Like, if you haven't seen Glass Onion, spoiler alert, I played basically 4 different characters. I played a character, Helen, her twin sister, Andy, Helen pretending to be Andy before the audience finds out, and Helen pretending to be Andy after the audience finds out. So
you have fun.
So I had so much fun. It was a challenge in the best possible way. I had to keep 4 different, you know, notebooks, and I could go in on a Monday and I could be Andy at the top of the day, Helen at the night, going into the morning, Helen pretending to be Andy. So it was a lot to juggle, but it was so much fun. I had a good time.
The more that you're doing these movies, and I know, you know, you've done a couple of movies.
Yeah.
From Lady and the Tramp, et cetera, et cetera. Each time you do a movie, does it give you that actress bug even more?
Well, like I was saying, like I always grew up doing it. You know, I was either in the musical at my high school and then doing a talent show song, singing My Life by Mary J. Blige. Like, I was singing in church. I love performing. I love storytelling through music, through TV, through film. And whenever I get like a good role, it allows me to go outside of myself. And then it's something about doing a movie that also makes me miss writing music, because I'm like, ooh, I've been away for a little bit. Okay, I think I have some clarity. I know what I want to say.
You gotta, you appreciate, it's like a relationship. You got to give it a little space to.
They both help, though. I feel like I came back to music, in my opinion, like a better writer, a better in the moment, staying present person. Because in film and TV, you got to stay present. People can see if you can feel it when an actor has already pre-planned what they're going to say. You got to go moment to moment. And I think for me, even in just how I'm living my life right now, I'm a lot more present. Is
that a lot to do with the director or the producer giving an actress, in this case, a little leeway of like improvising? Because doesn't improvising kind of help with it not sounding like it was you're reading off of the exact script that they gave you?
Yeah.
Did they give you that a little bit?
I have a director who's super collaborative, but it was on the page. When I read the script, I was like, oh, this writer is good. He was a great writer.
And I've always thought, like, if I ever acted in something.
You haven't done any acting? You have to try it at least once in your life.
I've never, and I don't know that I would be good at it. And that's
you
what
in
I'm
Hollywood though, like
so
I
was the DJ in Malibu's Most Wanted. I don't know if you remember that movie, but I played myself, so it was basically like improvising with Mike Epps. And I think Anthony Anderson. And it was easy, but I've always thought if I had to learn a script, I don't know that I would be able to pull that off and it come across like I'm not reading it off. I'm good at reading a commercial. Like, you want me to do your commercial for a T-Mobile commercial or whatever, I got that.
But you're reading, you have questions for me right now, but you're making it sound conversational.
I think I'm good at that. That's years of radio and years of, and I've never thought I'm the greatest interviewer.
You don't think you are?
No.
Why? Where do you feel like your weaknesses are?
Asking questions that you've already heard a million times, trying to figure out things to ask that you hadn't already been asked 10 times this week. And if I do, because it's on your one sheet that your people want me to ask, how do I do it and get a different response from you that you've already given somebody else interviewing you?
Yeah.
I don't know that I have that knack.
I think you might have more of it than you think.
Well, thank you. Because I definitely have more of that than I do if I was to be an actor. And but I understand what you're saying about having to pull that off, having to be, you know, a good actress and it not seem forced or, you know, and if they don't give you the leeway to improvise,
to say it in your own voice, and
now you got. And I can relate to that because T-Mobile will send me a script and there'll be a note, don't stray off the script. And now I'm like, great, you know, how do I make this sound me? Yeah. You know, DJ Felli Fel. Yeah. Without it being, I don't want to use the word corny. Right. But, you know, to get this, what they want across. Right. But still be me. Yeah. And it sounds to me like for you, and I wanted to touch on this because you said something a minute ago. You insinuated that, you know, when you first found out about the Glass Onion, you looked into it more. You were like, "Oh yes," based on Knives Out and all that. That tells me that you are picky, as you should be, and you wouldn't just do anything. Yeah. And that says a lot because, and I think that I noticed that in your music as well, because there's a million artists out there that I'm sure have approached you and you know you can work with. Yeah. And I'm sure there's a million artists out there that you know you could reach out to and get a feature. But being picky is creates longevity. And I've seen it because the NAACP Image Awards. Yeah. What's going on?
I'm nominated.
Let's go.
Best Supporting Actress for my roles in Glass Onion. Yeah, it's I mean, listen, when you get honored or nominated by your people, like it just hits different. Feels good. Yeah, it feels great. It feels, you know, and I'm in a category where people I respect and admire. Angela Bassett. I mean, so many beautiful like performances this season, last season that are being celebrated. And yeah, it's always a great feeling to have your own people just like acknowledge you.
Of course.
Yeah.
How important are these type of awards to you? And when it comes to some of these other like Grammys and the Oscars, because there's a possibility they may happen for you one day with the Oscars and all the acting stuff. How important is that to you?
Well, like awards and stuff. You know, I'm not that artist that says, "Ooh, I'm gonna write this and it's gonna win me some awards." I've never been like that. I've always just done the art that moves me, and if it moves me and it's moving other people, because these voters are they're people, you know, and if it touches them and they recognize it, that's great. But I live by the motto of like, I'm owed nothing and I'm grateful for everything. That's been my motto.
And it's those kind of sayings like, you know, you try, it's hard to embrace those things. Yeah. At least for me, because it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
I mean, especially when you have your, the people that love you, your team or whoever, or fans, and they're like, oh, you should have gotten this and you should have da-da-da. And then you got to watch out for that because then you think that you're owed something. Like, no, that's not how life works.
That's good that you think like that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they're like, yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. And all of a sudden, this thing that was great ends up being, now you're overthinking it maybe.
Right.
Did you get that at all after the NBA game? Like, why didn't they let you do this? Or why didn't they let you do that?
No, I was playing in that game for fun. Like, Spiced Adams, Kareem Bigums trained me. Like, come on now.
Yeah, it's not Spice Adams.
It's
Don't
Kareem
ruin his cover.
Kareem Bigums, not Spice Adams, his cousin.
Right.
Kareem Bigums trained me. And actually, because I didn't score any points, I got 0 assists.
You think it was
traveled.
because
it was because of Kareem Bigums,
yeah.
and I want my money back.
If you had to do it all over,
yeah, I want my money back. No, I had the time of my life. Like, I had so much fun. What, did you see my highlight reel where I was just living my best life?
Yeah, I saw it. I'm telling you,
so
man, I
much
was watching.
fun. I really did.
And you could tell you were having fun.
Yeah. Now, they did slap my ball down. Megatron, he slapped my ball and then had the nerve to be like, I'm such a fan. I love you. Yeah. I'm like, nigga, what? Oh, now I could have had a bucket and you slapped. Yeah. What? But it was fine. I was talking a lot of shit. That's my biggest strength, is I know how to get into the players' heads.
While we're still on sports, it reminds me, and I know how you feel about the NFL. I don't know 100%, but did you watch Rihanna's Super Bowl performance?
I did.
What did you think?
I loved it. I was happy to see that she has a little baby on the way. Like, she's done a lot. Like, she's paved the way
Another
for a lot
little
of
baby on the way.
I know.
And as an artist, seeing her up there pregnant, how did that make you feel? Like, do you feel like that's something that you would do or you could see yourself doing?
Well, I'm non-binary.
Right.
So
I understand. I'm just saying,
she,
if
her,
you
they,
were
them,
pregnant.
For me, absolutely. I mean, if you're blessed and if I'm fortunate to be pregnant, you roll with it. And I think that was the cool thing about her. Like, she didn't cancel.
Right.
She could have been like, because, having a baby and depending on what month you're in, you have to really be careful about what you do, what you say yes to. And the fact that she got up there and looked beautiful, she sounded beautiful, she moved. Like,
I'm glad
people
to hear
don't
you
understand what that takes.
The reason I asked about that is because, as you know, there was a lot of women that were like, I can't believe that she was up there. There was some of those, like, she shouldn't be up there on that big platform, pregos and all that. So that's good
ridiculous.
that you, right?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. You can't. Yeah, that everybody doesn't live their life in that way. They do what feels best for them, and nobody knows what it takes to be Rihanna except for Rihanna.
No, that's right. So, would you ever do any kind of stuff with Riri?
Oh, I would love to.
If the opportunity came about.
I love her.
And I know I'm asking from a like. Yeah. You're probably like, why are you saying it like that? Why wouldn't I? But you are definitely. As I'm getting to know you more, it's. I don't want to say you're hard to read, but sometimes I'm not sure what your reaction is going to be. A lot of times I ask questions and I'm like, I know what the answer is going to be. But
I would love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think, being a free ass motherfucker myself. You know what I mean? Just in terms of my way of living and thinking and just how she's, been able to live her life.
You had me thinking, does float stand for free ass motherfucker? But I did it right now.
Ooh, like if it was an acronym.
You can do a song called Free Ass Motherfucker. It's like Float Part 2.
Ooh, the Free Ass Motherfucker edition. Okay. Yeah.
That's what's up.
I love it.
So what's going on next, man? So you're floating right now. You did the NBA stuff. You did this movie. There's alarms going off in the studio and everything.
Somebody's in trouble.
What is and I gotta ask this. What is the next thing, or do you even know?
I do. I feel like a new artist, if that makes sense. I don't know how to describe it, but like, after you kind of go through like a shedding or just like an evolution, is something that just like another level unlocks, like in the game. that you're just like, oh, okay, new tools, new way of seeing life. I'm present. I'm so excited about just this new era and this new time for me. So musically, I'm super excited about sharing more music. I'm excited about, I'm excited about this cycle in my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
When you go in the studio, I gotta ask, because I'm a producer, I'm a DJ, so I like to know about the process.
Yeah.
When you go in the studio, do you like having a beat that you write to and sing to ready, or do you like going in and collabing with the producer that's coming up with the beat and it's almost tailor made, or do you do both?
It depends. I don't think, there are moments where I woke up out my dream at 5:30 a.m. and I've, beatboxed some music to something and then have full on melodies.
You can't beatbox.
And, you have to be like,
hilarious. I got you.
You know what I mean.
Yep.
So you do like the groundwork for it. And then there's sometimes you can hear music and you're just like, okay, I'm ready to float over that.
It's an
right
inspiration,
now. Let's
like
do
immediately.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think with this music, this time around, like when I made Float, I was having illegal parties during COVID. Okay, sorry, but we were being very safe. People were being tested.
Where were you living during COVID?
We were
and where do you live now?
In LA.
Okay.
In LA, I had just done the Oscars. I opened up the Oscars 2020, and so we were like, here it was better for me. It was better to stay sunny and be outside versus like indoors in Atlanta. So I made that decision to stay here. We couldn't travel because remember there was like no people, they were not allowing us to travel in that way. And so anyway, my friends who have this this party that they throw like maybe bi-monthly, they're called Everyday People. I don't know if you heard of it started in New York. DJ Monae is one of the main DJs, but they didn't have a venue because of COVID.
I'm somewhat familiar. Yep.
Nobody would like want to throw parties because it was a liability. And so I was like, oh, well, y'all can come to our space. Like we have.
And isn't that just kind of like a jam session?
No,
so to
it's
speak?
like diasporic. It's Africa. It's Jamaica. It's Atlanta. It's LA. It's like super Pan-African, when you think about the type of people, and they throw parties. And so my arts collective and them started to do these parties, and when I looked around and I saw just how beautiful and black, like complete strangers smiling at each other, everybody feeling free to explore who they are and like feeling safe. And it wasn't even about status. Like some of my friends would come through, like Lizzo and Anderson .Paak, and just like artists would come, but it wasn't about the who's who. It was about energy and vibe. And I said, this is like, I want to make music and I want to make a soundtrack to this lifestyle. This is us in our joy. This is what you protect. This is like the oasis in the middle of like everything that that's going on. And that's the sort of way that I started to approach music. I would be like, okay, we're having a party Saturday. Okay, Monday through Wednesday, we need about 2 to 3 songs that we work on. And if they don't make the playlist at the party, or if we don't feel like they fit, then we got to go back to the drawing board. And so I would sneak and play, like I played Float. And then I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God, what are people thinking? Then I saw people trying to Shazam it because I didn't tell anybody it was me. And I saw people Shazam and I was like, yes, okay, great.
Have you ever thought about capturing a moment at a party and being prepared with equipment ready to record, so you capture that moment with these artists that are probably just excited about maybe right then and there getting behind the mic and doing something?
Oh, we have a studio, so that's all we did.
Oh,
like
that's
we
dope.
did.
Oh,
the party
okay.
started at like 4 p.m.
Y'all ended up
we didn't
recording
end till
till 4
about
in the morning.
6 in the morning. Like
Okay,
people would,
so y'all did do that.
Yeah.
You did
Oh,
capitalize on
yes.
this amazing energy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, we recorded that. That's usually what happens because most of my friends are like, they're my friends. They also are musicians and artists, and They would just come
So
through
I was right when I
record.
said it was like a jam session.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it started as a party.
I got you.
If that makes
Because
sense.
I think I've seen clips from the everyday people.
Yes,
And it's I
exactly.
see everybody, some people on the mic. I've seen people, I think somebody on a keyboard, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So that's where I got the whole
it depends
perception
on
it's a
who's
jam
like
session.
in the house.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it
Gotcha.
can happen like that. But that's the wave, as we are all having this earth experience. It's like getting together with people who
You burn
understand.
incense, don't you?
I don't really.
Really?
No. What made you say that?
Because hearing all the earthy stuff you're talking about makes me think that if I walked in your house, there was candles and incense burning. I don't know why.
Really? Very interesting.
You give that vibe?
It's very interesting. Okay.
Huh.
I mean, sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes. I mean, yeah, but
It makes me want to ask questions like, you use natural cleaning products, don't you? You don't use anything with these crazy
What?
chemicals.
you know what? Honestly, I mean, I could do better. I could be reading the labels of things a lot more. But I think
You got this other
I think
stuff
that's
figured
so
out, though.
interesting that that's so interesting that you would say that. There's nothing obviously wrong with being like environmentally friendly and candles and things like
You're
that.
also talking to the person that started this interview off with, what guys did you date back in the day?
Right.
And then later on, you're like,
Exactly.
So I'm queer. And
I
I'm
mean,
like,
yeah.
I don't pay attention
I also
to stuff
lived
like
in
that.
Atlanta, Magic City,
Yeah. No,
other
I got
places
you.
that people don't know.
I'm understanding the vibe now.
Nuance.
Yes.
Very important.
Yes. And I should also say, so a lot of people like to do all kind of research on artists before they interview them. And
You did no research.
No,
Is that what you're telling me?
No, no. But I do very minimal. Because what I've found is if I do, but it can also bite me in the ass because I should have maybe known that. But I'm kind of glad I don't know certain things or didn't know certain things about you because
exactly.
I
agree.
Yeah, because I don't.
It wouldn't be interesting. You should discover something about me.
And I want to be interested when I'm doing an interview because I don't want to be a robot. This like, I already know what I'm going to ask here and I already know. And there's that fine line between doing both. But anyway, you're an amazing person.
Thank you.
I can tell.
Thank you.
This is the first time that we've actually met, but I'm a huge fan of everything about you now that I've got to know you a little bit better. And I wish you nothing but the best.
Oh, my goodness. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And
anytime.
Yeah, I have to invite you over to one of the parties.
Oh, man,
so you can hang out with us.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
I'm ready. You give me a little turntable.
Yeah.
I can beatbox a little bit. I can beatbox a little bit.
No, I'm going to just try to get you to come so you can DJ for free.
Come on.
Right?
I'll do that too. That'd be my pleasure.
That would be an honor.
All right. JM.
Peace.
As you see on the jacket.
Yes.
We out. Till next time.